Hi everyone, I am back with one more video with a new career option in the What Next series. Sit back and listen carefully. This could be your calling.
So, what if I told you that one of the most important and, highest paying jobs of the next decade in India is something you've probably never even heard of? Today, we're going to dive into a brand new career sitting right at the explosive intersection of AI, law, and ethics.
I want you to imagine a job, kinda hiding in plain sight, where the demand is set to just explode. We're talking outstripping the supply by a staggering 40 times. This is the career that almost nobody is preparing for right now, but you can bet every major company in India is going to be desperate to hire for it.
Okay, so what is this job? We're talking about the AI ethics and governance consultant. The easiest way to think about them is as the essential bridge, right, between this powerful, really complex AI and our society's actual laws and values. They're basically the new guardians at the gate, making sure technology serves us and not the other way around.
Now, this is not a role that fits into any neat little box. Nope. You have to be a true hybrid professional. You're part lawyer, trying to navigate these super complex regulations like India's new Digital Personal Data Protection Act. You're also part data scientist, digging into the code to find hidden biases. And on top of that, you're part strategist, advising the C-suite. This unique mix, well, that's what makes it a real power position.
So that probably brings up a pretty big question. Do you have what it takes for a role like this? Let's break it down. We're going to look at the exact backgrounds and skills that companies are desperately searching for as we speak.
And the great news here is that there's no single super narrow path into this career. The field is actively pulling people from three core backgrounds: tech, law, and policy. So whether you're a coder from an IIT or a tech law expert from, say, NLSIU, you've got a potential way in. And hey, pay close attention to that global certification from IAPP. Trust me, it's a name you're gonna want to remember.
Okay, so beyond your degree, that hands-on, practical experience is absolutely key. You can actually get your foot in the door with just 2 to 4 years in a related area, like data privacy or even AI product management. Now, to get to those senior levels, you'll need a solid track record in risk assessment. And if you want to really supercharge your profile, I'd focus on those top-tier certifications, like the CIPP/E from IAP or Google's Responsible AI. They're a massive signal to employers that you are serious about this.
All right, so let's say you've got the skills. The big question is, where are the jobs? And maybe more importantly, what do they actually pay? Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Well, the opportunities are really popping up all over the place, across 4 main sectors. First, you've got the big tech companies and unicorns like Flipkart. They're building their own internal teams. Then you have the major consulting and law firms. Think KPMG. They're launching entire practices just for this. Financial services, they're hiring because they have to, for regulatory reasons. And crucially, even government bodies like Niti Aayog are recruiting for this kind of expertise.
And as you might expect, these jobs are clustered in India's major tech hubs. Bangalore is leading the pack, which is no surprise to anyone, right? But Mumbai is absolutely crucial for the fintech roles. And Delhi NCR is the center of the universe for policy and government work. And you've got Hyderabad and Pune catching up really fast.
Okay, let's talk money. This is probably the moment you've been waiting for. Let's get right into the compensation, because honestly, for a field this new, the numbers are, well, they're pretty impressive.
Just look at these numbers. Even at the entry level, you're already looking at a really strong package, somewhere between 8 to 14 lakhs a year. That jumps up fast. At the mid-level, it's 18 to 35 lakhs. And then you get to the senior level, we're talking about practice leads commanding salaries from 45 all the way up to 80 lakhs. So yeah, the bottom line is simple. The financial rewards are huge, and they match the high-stakes nature of the work.
And get this, it's not just about the full-time corporate jobs. The freelance and consulting path is just as lucrative, if not more so. You could earn 2 to 6 lakhs for a single project. Or, for those with the right skills, you could work remotely for a US or EU firm and pull in a global salary. We're talking anywhere from 80,000 to 150,000 US dollars a year. The flexibility and the earning potential here are just enormous.
Look, the money is obviously compelling, but it's the timing that really makes this a once-in-a-generation opportunity. We are literally standing at the edge of a massive supply and demand crisis for this exact skill set.
So what's driving all this urgency? In a word, money. A single serious violation of India's new data protection law could result in a penalty of up to 250 crores. For any company, that is a gigantic risk. Suddenly, hiring an AI ethics consultant isn't a nice-to-have anymore, it's essential insurance. And the numbers here, they tell a pretty dramatic story.
Right now, in 2024, there are maybe 1,000 people in India in this kind of dedicated role. But by 2030, as India's AI market just skyrockets, the projected need is for 15,000 to 40,000 of these professionals. That isn't just growth, that's an explosion.
So let's put that in perspective. Here's the core issue in a nutshell. We have a current supply of about 1,000 specialists, and we're looking at a future demand of up to 40,000. That is a 40-fold gap between the talent we have and the talent we're going to desperately need. This is the very definition of a wide-open career opportunity.
Okay, but beyond all the numbers and the crazy demand, what is this job really like, day to day? Let's talk about a few of the unspoken truths, the things you won't find in any standard job description.
First off, this job requires some real bravery. Your role is often to be the voice of caution. You're the one who has to say no or hang on, not yet, to product teams and even to C-suite executives who are all pushing to move fast. It takes real guts, real conviction to stand your ground when that pressure's on.
Second, the work is incredibly dynamic. I mean, no two projects are the same. One month you could be auditing a facial recognition system for a bank, and the very next month you might be advising a government body on using AI in the justice system. It's a role that demands constant learning and constant adaptation. And here's something really unique, especially in the Indian context. The rules of the game are still being written. This means you aren't just passively implementing some law that's already set in stone. No, you are on the front lines helping organizations interpret and even influence regulations as they emerge. You're literally helping to shape the future.
And finally, and this might be the most important part, this work has profound human consequences. A poorly governed AI in something like credit scoring or healthcare can genuinely ruin people's lives. The ethical weight of the role is real, but for the right person, that sense of purpose is what makes it all worthwhile. It's deeply motivating.
So if all of this is sounding like the opportunity you've been looking for, you're probably asking, what's next? Let's break down a clear 5-step action plan that you can start on today, no matter what your background is.
Okay, here's your roadmap. 1. Read the foundational texts. I'm talking about the DPDP Act and NITI Aayog's Responsible AI Framework. They're free and online. 2. Take some free foundational courses. Google's Responsible AI and IAPP's Privacy course are fantastic starting points. 3. Start building your public profile. Write articles on LinkedIn, analyze some Indian AI ethics cases, get your name out there. 4. Aim for adjacent experience. Target roles in data privacy, AI product management, or compliance to get that hands-on feel. And 5. Network with the community. Start following organizations like the Center for Internet and Society. This is your pathway in.
Look, we're in one of those rare moments where a brand new, high-impact field is just completely wide open. The key takeaway here is simple. The demand is absolutely skyrocketing, the money is huge, and the work genuinely matters. The demand is racing way ahead of the supply. So the real question is, what are you going to do with this information? A brand new field is here. Will you be ready when that opportunity arrives, or will you be watching someone else take it?